Shogi Shmogi.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a
one for
bad
me.
question.
You don't like it? I can't believe it.
It's so hard for me.
Okay, let's start. Homework question.
Alright,
Why do we use the word
Look at the
condition,
notes from
cha,
Oh my god.
or moment of birth, keshi, and moment of death, chisi, as compared to the period of intermediate being and the living being?
Oh,
Because what?
Well, I already said it in class.
Oh, you said it.
In
Yes,
class.
okay.
Yeah.
This-
What was it?
Rare
Because it's
occasion.
only for a split second compared to the rest.
We
which are
don't
much
even
longer.
know that it's for that long. We can't seem to identify such a being since maybe they're not a being, but I don't know if I accept that argument. But that's his argument. So it's a condition.
Yeah. It's for my own record, basically.
Whose school are we in?
Sugeng school.
Yeah, they say there's 50% coming from
Yeah.
50-50
the conceived child's side.
They say probably because the first two are just very short moments and not really periods. Oh, what is
Not
it?
really beings.
Not really beings? Okay, not really beings. Okay. Okay, what is the traditional reason why old age and death are combined into one link?
Because we don't always reach
Somebody
old.
Oh yeah, right.
Because sometimes we don't get old.
Yeah, I don't have enough material to do questions.
Oh,
That's a very highly
What are the
reasonable
four
question.
possible birth mentioned in the 11th link? And for Tibetan track, please give Tibetan
I
track.
see.
No.
I see.
Miraculous.
No.
TK
Say it.
2TK.
Which is which?
Miraculous birth.
Which one is that?
Okay, so
No, there's one, that one.
okay is
Ngong, Gong. Real G, not Ngong, but Gong.
Gong.
Real G.
Gong.
And true Shirke.
True.
Tertiary.
Like two. Two.
Gongke,
Tertiary.
and one more.
Tertiary.
Two more.
D-R-O-D.
Oh,
Drew.
Drew.
Probably. Kyo, okay. What did we say?
Oh, Dirch. That's more
Two
familiar.
K.
Juchike, Niel, Ke.
Which
Yeah.
was miraculous?
Yeah.
Zuteke.
Jushike.
That's like Sankte Lopan.
Yeah.
Juchike.
There's
Secret.
How?
in this text.
It makes it kind of adverbial.
Oh.
Sankte Lopan.
Sankte.
Zuteke.
TK.
Yeah, miraculous means one. Yeah. But rare, very rare.
Right. As a form
Probably
of
there's
birth
two, I think. It's a pattern.
Okay, STW. Sipa Bardua.
Proud every
Between
time.
Okay?
Between being.
Intermediate being. Yeah.
What's that mean?
Between death and rebirth.
Good.
Between death and rebirth. Ning Sang.
Make the crossing.
You mean some Jarwad.
Make the crossing.
Yeah, by the way, a lot of texts say Nicham.
Ni Chang.
With
There's
a
a,
D?
Ni Chang.
with a D, yeah.
Do you think it's a misspell? Like a,
I, maybe it's a Danka, I don't know. Ning would make more sense to me,
Okay, the last one. Lenyon, the newest English term, please.
but. Yay!
Carne.
Yeah. Carne.
That's not English.
Yay! I like it.
It's so far from English.
Wait, what's it mean?
So
What's it
many
mean?
reasons that's not English.
Okay. Lenyon basically means
You're a victim of Carnegie. Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
It's common negative emotions
Practice.
because it appears so often in the text. So our great Lama actually devised a new English term called carne.
It's a combination.
Because they do.
They, tang, you
They do, yeah.
Lay down your man.
Okay, thank you, Gishwa.
Yay. That's pretty cool.
Right, I'll give you 2/3 clap.
Carne is meat in Spanish.
It's what?
Carne.
Carne is meat
A
in
carne.
Spanish.
Carne.
You dead meat.
Carne.
I'd like to welcome the green stretch penners. The three new ones who came in the room.
Three?
Ah.
Oh, okay.
We're working on another one. According to the text, it's already a person. According to his text, just now. Yeah. Anyway. the name Mooncake number 2 is still available.
It's true.
Mooncake
I
2.
googled it. Mooncake number 2 is
It's right.
$16
So is the
a
domain name.
And the website's still available.
Mooncake number 2.com.
I'm trying to convince him to call his baby Mooncake. Because this is the Mooncake Festival in China right now.
Little mooncake.
But it's not making much progress.
Erin liked it actually. Not for an official name. Not going on the birth certificate.
And we have people from downstairs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Welcome people from downstairs.
What do they call?
Don't let her start asking questions. She never stops. Okay, let's go. Read.
Rang yu lenyan ki wang ki sok wang gak pe cha
His pronunciation is the best in the room, so pay attention.
yan lak chuni nang sen to cure.
Now he'll make a mistake. Cure.
Chiwe tan trel ki sen ni.
That's easy.
No sibilants in this line.
Chiwe tenda.
The meaning of death,
Why isn't it dependent origination of death?
because this is immediately following the links at the.
It's an idiom. They call each link dependent on origination. Sometimes. Okay.
Which is a member of the 12 links.
Yeah, which is a member of the 12 links. And hang on. All right. And what's its cause? Carneg. Karma and negative emotions. And due to it, your Sokwang Goks.
Your life power stops.
Yeah, and it's the cha
Condition.
condition. So it's a very tricky thing. In the 3 categories of changing things, which one is it?
Oh, it's a
That's a
changing
trick
thing
question.
which is neither physical nor mental.
Oh,
Yeah, you might go there, or you might call it
Oh,
a
no.
dumache.
It's an undo
Or would
changing
you?
thing, isn't
Is
it?
the whole problem that it's a god?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, as I'm saying, you could call it a dumache.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah,
You could
right.
call it an unchanging thing,
Yeah.
unchanging condition.
Yeah.
Okay,
Unchanging condition.
one exception,
Uh-huh.
according to Christian religion. Okay, you're not unique and non-scientific. Okay, all right. Here we go.
thế là yang se pa dun nyam pa sok tu ma yu.
We're gonna have this in words text in an hour, right? It's gonna come in the 8th argument about foundation consciousness. Okay, but anyway, say.
Say.
Life blows away.
Yeah, the life wears down. The life wears out, finishes in English, and the ushma nyamba.
And the warmth degenerates.
Yeah, the warmth of the body starts to leave. Okay. Alright, so duma, there's many signs, right? So this doesn't mean more than one. Okay. This many means many. Okay, go ahead.
Gashini
By the way, this is the explanation of why the 2 are one link.
Gashini yan lak chik tu chepe kyu chen yut te kebu ga shikma
Good.
shiwar gepa yut ga shikma gepar chiwa yut pe kyu chen ki te ni yan lak chik tu chepe chi.
You know all this.
There is a reason why we group them together.
Group what together?
Old age and dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now you have to say aging and death. You can't say old age. You can never translate Gawa in the book about the 12 links as old age for this reason.
Because it's not a.
Aging.
Yeah, it's
Gashi.
a process.
Yenla chituche. Make them into
One link.
one link. There is a gitsa. Yeah, there's a reason why we do that. Kibugashi.
Some people.
Some people. Gepa. Mashiwar.
They age, but
They
they
age
don't die.
without dying.
Yeah, they're getting old, but they're not dying yet. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
so
okay,
then
that's
they
us.
wouldn't be in one of the links. Okay.
Are they aging but not dying?
Right.
Yeah, they're aging but not dying. And Gashig,
Some people.
Chiwa without Gepa.
They die without getting old.
They die without aging. Okay.
Would you have to no? Would you have to put that one as getting old because it couldn't? You can't die without aging.
That technically you're correct, but talk to him. This aging though means falling apart, which is okay. Chiwa Yepe Gyutenki for that reason, Denyi
These two.
Those two.
are explained as Yenlachik. One ring. Okay. Here
Shepa
we
is
go.
reason, is
Gyutsen.
it? Oh, no, sorry, Shepa is
Are explained. Yeah. Are said to be.
said to be.
Are said to be. Yeah.
That's said to be.
Yeah. By the Buddha actually, but they didn't go there. Okay.
Chimanam ki chilki kepani shelani
Selen.
shelen
Set.
set
Okay.
selani tang su.
He says the latter, right? We've had these ladders problems this week. Yeah, the latter ones, presumably the last three, because he's gonna talk about 8 and 9. Okay, he's gonna say their characteristics or their features are the same as 8 and 9. So when he says the latter ones, he must be talking about 10, 11, and 12. Okay. So sometimes in the explanations of the 12 links, they don't repeat all the typical features of them because they're the same as something that came before. Features means, is it good karma or bad karma? When do you get rid of it? What realm is it included into? Basically, those are the three typical tricky kippas. Okay?
Chung means dang.
Same as. Exactly the same as. Because it didn't say
Dang dra.
nice. I'm glad I didn't bet any money on that. Now, when the sutra teaches the 12 links, okay, the classic sutra on dependent generation, it always goes off on a section after the 12th link. Always. It repeats the same section. There's another section, a 13th section, okay, and it always comes. And this he's going to explain why it wasn't included in the 12. Okay, so there is a 13th. There's always another statement after old age and death. There's always, and then he's answering a question which you should have thought of, which is why didn't they make that a 13th link? What is the 13th missing link? Here we go.
If you want an explanation of the other parts, the circles, the concentric circles, where do you look for those? Like the animals and.
It is in a sutra, but Abhidharma has a nice. We could go off on a. We're gonna finish your text without finishing your text. Okay. His text is so source. It's such a source of everybody's text that we keep going to his text and taking pieces out and putting them in the other books, which is the sexy thing about doing all the schools at once. We can do it. The mind-only argument's going to come in your text, and then we could just take it out of there and put it into your text. It's going to come shortly. Okay. So anyway, Dole,
Dole Nyangen Tang
Nyangen,
Nyangen Tang Menga
Menga,
Menga
Dip
Menga
Dip, Beep Beep, Menga. Both high tone. Menga.
Menga Dun Pa Tang Tuk Ngao Wa Tuk Ngao Wa Tang I Mi Dewa Tang
You Chinese guys, give me a good Y. Give me a good yi.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yi.
I Mi Dewa
And cut it short. Yi.
I
Mi
Mi
Dewa.
Dewa Tang Tuk
No.
Pa La Sok Pa Tuk Ngao Ki Pung Po Ba Sik Pa Nam
She.
Ba Sik Pa Nam
She.
Ba Sik Pa Nam Ba Sik Shik
That's the
Ba
one.
Sik Pa
Like when you say shut up.
Ba Sik Pa Nam
Jungo.
Jungo.
Let's stop there because that's the famous 13th part, and it's always the same. Okay. Then what happens? Nyangen, grief.
Oh yeah.
Right? This is the one in the Tibetan word for nirvana.
It's just the
Nyangen.
Nyangen without the
We
left
never
apex.
see it by itself.
Yeah.
Shoka.
Sure.
And Ashoka, he didn't have any grief. And if you want to go further, it's desiccated. And it's dry out because you're crying so much. Okay, to dry out. Maybe sukha comes from that because that's another story. Okay. Mengak means moans and groans of pain. Bewailing?
Bemoaning?
It's like, people caught in a fire. The sound of 10 or 12 people caught in a room that's on fire. What this sounds like, It's a very sad word. It's a very depressing. It's the sound of a lot of people caught in a fire who can't get out. Menga Dimba. This is the Svadhyaya Dimba.
Recitation.
They are, the sound is coming out of their throats. Okay? Screams of pain coming out of their throats. He's describing the wheel. This is the wheel. This is his summary description of the wheel. We're all sitting here screaming and we're in, grief. And we're all doing, wow. He made an adjective out of, we are suffering-ish. Okay. And that's physical pain. And now here's Yimidawa. Yeah, so he's describing the whole wheel, what it feels like to be in the wheel. We are all, profoundly unhappy. And tupa,
Disturbed.
Yeah, disturbed. It's a Gerard Manley Hopkins, where ignorant armies clash by night. Tupa, like a world of confusion. Tupa, okay. Yeah. Tuk means civil disturbances, like Hong Kong right now. It would be called Tupa. Disturbances. Just confusion and disturbance, physical, social disturbance. Okay, Tupa, La Sopa, etc. This is just a dungyalki pumbo. Yeah, it's a pile of suffering, a mountain of suffering. In English, we say mountain for a big heap. He's giving me a mountain of BS.
No, that one's just a pile.
Oh, yeah. Bashik? Yeah, this is just a big pile of pain, Jungo, very important. Present tense.
Comes about.
Yeah, that's how it happens. Then he's wrapping up his 12 links.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Jung and Tenjung. This is the origination, independent origination. He's got the verb here. That's how it happens.
Wow.
This huge pile of pain. And he's describing the wheel. So there comes a question in many commentaries, why didn't Buddha make it a link? Like the whole wheel together as a big suffering ball.
Make what a link?
Suffering?
Because the Buddha always says this sentence after he gives the 12 links.
Right.
So people said, why didn't he make it why is it not included in the traditional explanation?
It's in every
Why
link.
does everybody leave it out?
Yeah.
Because the links are micro.
Well, we're gonna get an argument of why. Okay, from a real. Never mind.
Yeah, right.
Sun Kyung.
No offense, guys.
Okay, now say Sung. I admit the Buddha always says that. Kyung, but I admit the Buddha always says that after the 12th link. But here, go ahead. Dedak dirang musu maten. But the reason we don't include those details about screaming, confusion, pain, and unhappiness as separate links, for example, okay? Dedak dir musu maten. Why are they not directly referred to in the 12 links? Sorry. Why are they not directly? This is important. Directly. They're implied.
Yeah.
They're implied.
But he says, why don't we mention them directly? Why don't we have link 13 is screaming, link 14 is unhappiness, link 15 is physical pain? why don't we? There's a reason, okay? Here we go.
Chang Chang Che Nam Pa Ta Pa Dang Den Pe Ge Long Yi De
Yeah.
Shin Tu Chi Wa Yut Pe Yut Sen Ki Ma Chi.
Yeah, and now he's going to answer the question of why weren't they all included as like 12A, 12B, 12C, okay? In death, bewailing your fate, the physical suffering of death, the unhappiness of death. Why didn't we include them as a component of death? Because Sangcha,
Monks who practice brahmacharya?
good.
Oh, good.
And it's a reference to monks. It just means celibates, meaning monks or nuns, okay?
Well, it says Galen there, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Saw that too.
I'm sorry. Yeah, monks whose sangja is nambadapa.
Very
Whose sexual,
pure.
whose sexual
pure.
activities are.
Yeah,
pure.
and this kind of means more general behavior. Those monks whose behavior in their life has been exemplary, okay? As they chiwa, yi de shindu present tense, present participle.
They're super happy.
Yeah, happily.
Happily.
They die with a happy heart.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, they die with a happy heart. Okay, so we can't include those descriptions into the number 12. Okay. Okay, Yebe, there is such a thing, okay? Tapa tasum. Yeah, Yutsinki, for that reason, Matang.
We don't count them among.
No, it's DR, not GR.
Uh-huh.
Figuratively speaking.
No, it's
I know, we
It's
don't
not.
pull it out. We don't quote it here. This tongue means quote.
Oh, I see.
This tongue means quote.
That's really
Yeah.
beautiful, though.
Yeah, we don't take that out of the sutra and add it to the description of number 12.
Sugeng hasn't afforded us a lot of optimism, but this is kind of lovely.
Well, so you could, if you're in a debate ground, you can say,
man, you-
which link has something added and something taken away? Because they add gawa, and they take away dung mengak dumba. Mengak dumba. Screaming, okay. Okay. This is not so much screaming as wails of. It's very common in descriptions of the hell realms, for example. Okay. Okay. And it's not common in colloquial. We don't use it in colloquial. Okay. All right.
What is this Nam Pa Da Pa just now you said?
Pure, who has good behavior,
How was the
totally pure. Number tapa. It's Vimala. Who has Vimala behavior. Okay. Meaning they're sutram, but here he calls it sangcha, which is celibacy, but he means good behavior. And it might have been a comment to his audience. You guys keep your morality good, and you don't have to worry about this wheel thing. It might have been a little, maybe somebody in the room was not doing Sanjay number 9, but I don't know. It feels a little bit like that. Okay. Okay. Now we've actually finished the 12 links, I think.
Yeah, right.
And we have to go on now. But we have some debate about the links. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, little debate.
Chupa
Tsupa.
Chupa
Yeah.
Chung Se Bong Wala.
What's that mean?
Putting to bed a few little debates.
Let's put a few debates to rest here. Let's put a few debates to rest. Just a bit. Let's talk a little bit about arguments that people make. Okay. It's not a full refutation of rebuttal. It's not a full rebuttal. I wouldn't call it rebuttal here. It's just like, some people have some problems with what I said. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Chungsepo.
Just a little tip of
Okay, go.
Chignale Ki Wa
Ki
Ki Wa
Parsi.
Ki Parsi.
Yeah, by the way, when there's an apostrophe S there, the next word must be, it must be the beginning of the next word. Yeah, Parsi.
Ki Parsi to Kewa Lang Ne Kesi to Kewa Milan Pa Me Pa Tao Tar.
Yeah, let's do that much, okay? Now I like to, in the English, I like to keep a syllogism together. But let's break it up.
I think it's
Helpful here.
Okay, kachignare. Somebody comes and says, by the way, the verb is here. There's the subject of the sentence, and there's the verb. Okay, and I had a breakthrough with your text because I found a ser like 3 paragraphs below. So everything we did the other day was,
Touchy.
yeah. And I was trying to squish it into wrong, you know.
Oh, that's it.
Hopelessly, I was trying to put it
Makes
into
me feel
wrong.
better about
Yeah, me too, but I still don't understand it.
Was it
Just
the
the-
stuff on right deceptive and wrong deceptive?
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh, of course
That's
it
all we
was.
covered.
Yeah, now it's a little easier. We just have to twist it the other way. Okay, so anyway,
Nor my
somebody makes the claim. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I still got one for you.
I think that's where the stair goes. Okay, kipasi.
When you're gonna take when you're in the intermediate
Yeah.
state where you take
For
rebirth
dog?
as a dog.
How come it's not the pardo after a key birth?
Oh.
After a dog birth.
Because
If you
it's
say,
someone who's going to be a dog.
yeah, but how do you know that? It says dog. It
Dog.
says dogs pardo.
Well, there is no dog that takes rebirth.
Huh?
Oh,
Because
because of Bardo
No.
takes on the
Yeah.
form
No, I'm just saying there's a what do you call it?
grammatical reason.
There's a standard when you're talking of
When you have a
bardos.
genitive go into a
When you're talking about with bardos, you always talk. It's always the next being's bardo and not the last being's bardo. A dog's bardo could have been the bardo of a person who was a dog before,
But it just never happens to be.
but it happens that in usage, the standard usage is that you always mention what they're gonna be, which means you have to translate it as a bardo being who's going to be a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going to be a dog? You just be aware this is the usage when you're talking about bardos. Okay, all it says in Tibetan is dog's bardo, and you have to translate it as a bardo who's gonna be a dog, not a bardo who was a dog. Okay, all right.
We're gonna
Okay.
ask why he doesn't have a beard.
That's what I thought too. Why is
Well,
there no
when
beard?
you nyingtsam jorwa, you lose the beard.
It's not wait.
Okay, what did I just say?
When you cross the line.
When you cross the border into the bardo, they take your
We
beard.
had it before, right? Did
They
we
take
have
your
a-
beard and they put it on another
Oh,
dog.
yeah. We had many Bardo beings that were going to take rebirth as an old dog.
That actually has happened in this text.
Okay, so ki pasitu. Kiewa lang. Now this is a little difficult.
Take birth.
Birth.
Who took birth?
Bardo
The-
being?
As a bardo being.
as a bardo.
So it's kind of uncomfortable
Yeah.
because rebirth normally means after bardo.
Yeah.
But here he's saying when you take birth in the bardo,
Into the
as a dog to be. As a dog to be, okay? As a future dog.
This can be something before to Bardo or Bardo to Bardo, right?
It gets confusing because normally when you come out of the bardo, you kewalen.
Right.
When you come out of the bardo, you take a birth, right?
Oh,
But
coming to Bardo?
but the verb here is talking about being born as a being in the bardo who's going to be a dog in the next life.
because
Okay,
of
got
love.
it. Well, past tense of len. Once you have taken a birth as a bardo being who's going to be a dog, okay, it's very confusing. It would take years to figure it out. Kesi tu kewa milawata. We can't call that a kesi, can we?
Of being at birth.
A being at birth, okay? We cannot call that a being at birth as one of the 4 kinds of
Right.
beings, right? So who is this guy? What do we call that? What do we call when you're born into the bardo? Can we call it kesi? Because that's supposed to be called parsi. That's supposed to be called being in the bardo. But he also takes birth, so shouldn't you call him a being who's being born? Couldn't you have both of two of the 4 sipas at the same time? That's his debate.
Maybe
That's
he
the other
has
guy.
Miraculous birth.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, it is a jutike. Okay, but it's not. We're talking about the 4 sipas, not the 4 kinds of birth. Okay, we ne, not the 4 locations of birth, which means the 4 types of birth. Okay, here we go.
Describe
Meata.
life as a Parsi in between bardos too.
Say again.
Couldn't you describe what we call being
Life
alive?
as a
Sokwan?
bardo.
Sokwan?
Parsi in between
The in
bardos.
between the kisa.
Well,
she's
Here we go. Okay, he's saying, why can't you call the Parsi a kesi? Why can't the Parsi have a Kesi also?
Maybe it can.
Okay, they're supposed to be mutually exclusive,
Yeah.
you know. But how come a being in the bardo doesn't have? It can't be called a being at birth in the first moment that he's in the bardo because he's taking sort of a part.
So the same argument applies to an in-between being as well, right?
Yeah, and the Chisi also. You die from the bardo also.
Right.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Ki nameki pumbo.
Ki namin ki pungpo, ruk che ki lenin na, nyong nge ki lenin, vi pe chirte.
Okay. Ki nameki pumbo jup cheki le. If something is the karma, which is going to bring about the pumbos
Heaps
of a dog as it ripens, as the karma ripens. The body and mind, okay? Sometimes I think there are places, and you have to choose wisely, where you can translate heaps as body and mind. Like here, okay? And it'll be so much easier for your reader. They don't have to jump over heaps. Yeah. Okay, so if something is the karma which is going to produce the body and mind of a dog as its karmic result, okay, it's gotta be good. It has to be nyongekile.
Definitely experience karma.
Yeah, karma which must be experienced. Nothing's gonna happen between it and the ripening, for example, the four powers, which is gonna change it. Or it's not going to divert to another realm or another rebirth. But in Stanley's text,
Yes.
It can.
it can. If it's not time for dogs to mate,
Right.
Right.
you can be born as a gopher. Not a human. That's not the example. Okay, you can give it your turn.
So we call this definite karma as well, uniquely.
I think you could. Karma which is sure to be experienced. Karma which is definite to be experienced. Okay. And if something is karma to be experienced, definitely, okay, it must be a type of karma where the karma to produce a dog is chawa, devoid of, it does not have any condition which could contradict the birth as a dog, which could prevent the birth as a dog. If you call it karma which is certain to produce its result, then there can't be anything that happens in between, like it's not the right mating season for that animal, that would stop it. Okay, not possible. Gelken. Okay, got it? And not only that, so it must be free of conditions which could prevent the birth, and it must possess all of the conditions which could cause the birth. Tunken. Okay, so it must be not have gelkens, and it must have complete tsangwa. All the tunkens must be there. Where do we often see tunken? In explanations of good meditation places. Okay, there's a whole list of tunkens. Not a lot of bugs. Nobody talking next door, no garbage trucks. Yeah, good friends, good food. Okay, government doesn't try to stop you. There's a whole list of tunken. We see tunken with meditation, but here, it's that if it's nyonge, if it's definite karma, then all the things which would help it grow must be there, and none of the things that would stop it from going could be there. Okay, he says. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Therefore, it must be definite karma. Okay. And we're still in the kachik. Okay, I split it, but, just because it's going to get 3 pages long. But you still indent it in the English. Okay. And if it's, go ahead.
Thế khi nó miễn khi bung bò pen chế kỳ lệ là xe lén khang rung khi sư tập sơ tập xì lệ nữ bạt tu chen tu chế bạt thế hình cử bế chiết xe na mặc nhập.
Yeah, if something is certain to produce a dog, if a karma is certain to produce a dog, okay, then if something is the karma which pens,
Projects it.
yeah, projects into the future, as opposed to, yeah, fill in the details. Does the dog have a nice beard or not? Right? Like Jaru? Jaru. He has a nice beard. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the karma which throws the dog, not the details of the dog. Okay? His eyes are amazing. It's one blue and one brown. One big blue eye and one brown eye. Which proves he's... Anyway. Penjakilela, then that karma which throws the dog, the body and mind of the dog, as its karmic result, okay? That karma which throws into the next life, projects into the next life, the body and mind of a dog as its karmic result, that must be sile nipa tichen chepa. It must have been made into le, which is nipa tichen, tremendous power. Tremendous power, okay? It's been made, it's been armed, okay? It's been, made ready to blow up like an atomic bomb. Somebody pushed the switch to start the starter, okay? Tuchen, why did he say stile? We talked about it 4 or 5 times, but not today.
Possible?
Come on. You should give me money for that answer. I like to pick on him.
It's the karmic lotto thing, isn't it? The sutap sile? The karma for...
What's the opposite of stile? Aya, dujekile. Link number 2.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Don't forget, there's 2 karmas. Yeah, there's 2 karmas in the wheel. There's 2 karmas in the wheel, number 2 and number 10. Okay, he specifically wants to talk about number 10, which is pregnant. It's about to give a mooncake. Okay, totally ready to give a mooncake. Okay, and it's 210. It's totally loaded, totally powerful. Totally ready to split open. The seed is you're just touching the door to the kitchen. Okay? Teaching, why is it totally ready to give its result? Because it has been sundepa by Sepa and Lemba.
Has been armed by the 8th and 9th.
Yeah, link 8 and 9, whichever one or ones it may be, okay? Whichever one or ones it may be, have armed it. I don't know, you gotta find a word. Okay, have pre-triggered it. Okay, all right. Yin gube chair. Okay, it must be karma which is fully armed. Why? Because it's certain to give a result. Okay, that's his argument. That's his kyaba. If I say kyabalo, if I say kyabalo in 4 syllables or something, you're gonna say something like, if something is sile, it must be nyonge. That's the argument here. Say it in English.
If something's about to...
Armed karma.
Yeah, if something is armed karma, it must be,
Experience.
yeah, karma which cannot be stopped. Too late to stop it. Too late to stop it. It's a very interesting argument. If karma has been armed by not understanding karma, or by doing coffee meditation, is it definitely going to open? And we say, makya.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, okay? Karma can be armed, ready to open, but it's still not certain it's going to go off.
You might be
Now, what are we going to say is an exception,
You could be
okay?
born as a main
When you say
character.
makya, yeah.
How come it says kangaroo?
How come it says what?
Kangaroo. Like, could it ever be the case that...
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice argument. I guess you could make the case that karma partially armed by initial desire, which means initial misunderstanding of the karma. Yeah, that's all. Could you have advanced desire without the initial desire? Now, that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
So,
Could you have initial desire and still do 10?
Right.
yeah, I think you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could still say After 8, number 10 has been armed. Yeah, you could go from 8 to 10.
So why do we have
Okay.
9 then?
Because that really arms it. Okay. Then, Dominuso. So all we say is, if it's armed, it's not necessarily going to go off. Okay. And you, back at the tell.
That's all we had to say.
Yeah, no more detail. Thanks. You have to write it, okay? In Tibetan and add it to the. Okay. I mean, Ngawang Pelden did it, right? So, and then he says, by the way, nobody can say, I agree. Way back at the first tell, which is right here, okay? Way back at the first tell, nobody could say, right. And he doesn't explain why. Okay, so he cheats us twice. He's not getting any money from me. Okay, what was the original tell? Okay, ki parso te kewa langne,
Right. That you
keso
could
te
call
kewa
the
milemba.
Bardo of a dog or kise. Kese.
Ki parso te kewa langne, after you have taken the body and mind of a being who's gonna be a dog, keso te kewa milemba mebata. Kesi tu mikewa lemba mebata. There's no possibility that you cannot then take a birth as a dog. Okay? Once you have taken on a dog's bardo body and mind, it's impossible that you would not then take on the body and mind of a dog in the next life, in the life to follow after the bardo. Okay? Once you're born in the bardo as someone who's gonna be a dog, it's impossible that right after that you wouldn't be a dog, born as a dog. Yeah, he said, and it's not possible that you wouldn't be born as a dog. And we say, don't say that. That's not true. It means there must be an exception. Okay, got it? And he does go on to the exception. To be fair to him. Okay, to be fair to him.
Bearded old goat.
And it gets complex, okay? We're about to swim in the Abhidharma Kosha. Okay? We're about to go for a swim in the Abhidharma Kosha. Here we go. Kachik.
Kosha term.
Ki parsi tu kewa leng.
Lang.
Kewa
Lang.
Kewa lang. Kesi tu kewa min lempa met pa tao. Mi dok min dok de mi drip sao. She sum te chi sam.
Okay. Somebody says, once you have taken a birth as a Kiyaparsi, yeah, as a dog bardo, to be a dog, bardo that's going to be a dog, okay? There's no possibility that you will not be born as a dog, that you will not become a kesi of a dog, okay? Impossible.
Okay.
He says, and then he quotes Stanley Bandhu. Then he quotes Stanley Bandhu. Vasu Bandhu changed his name. Vasu Chen? I like Stanley Bandhu. Because the Abhidharma Kosha says, Mindo Teni Tisao cannot, it's too late to stop it. You've got the smell eater. It's too late to stop it. You have the smell eater. What's a smell eater?
Bardo.
It's another name for a pardo being, because it's a spirit. They survive on smells. They can live off of mooncake smells. They don't have to eat the mooncake, okay? And it's also a name for a demon, okay? Gandharva. But it's also the name of a divine musician. So make sure you got the right one of the three. Okay, same word. Gandharva. Gandharva. Gandha means a smell. Okay, so, but the divine musicians in heaven are also called Chisa. Well, they're called Gandharva, and then you get this uncomfortable thing where the Tibetans feel they have to use stink eater for divine musician. Okay? Because it's the same Sanskrit word. But it should be something like fragrance eater for them. You see what I mean? Got it? Okay, anyway, Shesam Bichir Senna. Let's do this next line, and then let's take a detour to Stanley's text and cover that verse for him. Okay? Because it's supposed to prove that once you get a dog bardo body, you have to be born as a dog. Sorry, you don't have to be born as a dog. I'm sorry. Yeah. Even though the text of the Abhidharma Kosha says you can't stop it. Mindong, you can't stop it. Okay. You can't turn it back. You can't prevent it. Okay. But because the tisa is already there, the Bardo being's already there. He took it out of context, maybe. So let's go look at the context. But first, let's see his doc. Okay, Serna, if you say that, okay, if you make that argument, okay, that it cannot be stopped because the Abhidharma says it cannot be stopped, our answer is
No problem.
here we go.
คืนแม่เตเทนีเชดับเมาเอดูป่าตักป่าซ้ำยินเตจิ
Yeah. Now you have to phrase this correctly, and I'll give you the two ways you could phrase it. I'll give you the two ways you could phrase it. You ready?
Yeah.
You have to phrase it correctly, okay? That's an idea that the Vibhashika believe, therefore it's just made up. That's one way to read it. That's one way to read it, okay? If you pause at dupe, that's the English.
Yeah.
Okay, if you pause at dupe, the English is, that's just something that the Abhidharma people believe, therefore it's made up. Which would cancel every idea in the Abhidharma.
But you can pause it.
Okay,
follow
so
it.
please don't translate it that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could pause it my way and say, that's just an idea that was made up by the beliefs of the Vaibhashika, which doesn't cancel all their teachings on the 4 steps and the 22 powers and the 18 categories. You see, how you pause, where you pause in the Tibetan is crucial here.
I mean,
Okay?
that's what people think they think?
No, Dupitapa. Read it as one phrase. Dupitapa. That's just one of their weird ideas. But it doesn't. He doesn't want to say all their ideas are weird. So how you translate it is crucial. Okay. Okay. I'll tell you how you can't translate it. That's a belief of the Vaibhashika. Therefore, it's just made up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's the wrong way to translate this sentence.
Right.
The correct way to translate: pause at the Maui.
That is
Sorry,
a made-up belief.
Yeah, it's just a made-up belief of the Vaibhashika, meaning not all their ideas are made up. It's just one that is made up. Got it? So that's a great example how phrasing could totally ruin the sentence. And that's why edit your text. Okay, all right. Yeah, it helps to know what you're translating before you translate it, which is why you sit in classes for 10 years or 20 years. Okay. Okay, I'm going to say went on a detour from here.
one more minute.
Well, let's go look at the other one. What's the date today? 16?
17.
17? Oh, okay. Okay, let's go to the Abhidharma. Just for a second, okay? Just to see where we're headed. Which means we have to go to Stanley Bunda.
For those of you who opened Stanley's text, there is a new version of the documents from history.
Thank you.
And we're going to look for Sugeng, which was mentioned by Vasubandhu here. And he called it Detour for Sugengji.
No, this.
No, Ji means it's honorable Sugeng in Hindi. Hindi like Stanley Ji, Michael Ji. It's a respect word. Okay. Yeah, and here's our line. Mendo Deni Tisao. They are a smell eater. It cannot be stopped. Okay, it's different spelling, same meaning. Different, okay. And here's the punchline, okay, and we have to debate it. The Pemba is combined. The Pemba is combined for $20. For $20. 10, 9, what?
2 and 10
It's
are
got a
at the
gifting
same
of it.
time.
Say it again.
The paddle being and the birds to be a dog is the same.
Good, nice.
Nice.
Well, how much I said? 5?
2000.
20.
Oh, you're right. It was 20.
Say it again for everybody.
So
The throwing karma.
the throwing karma and the karma to be the dog is the same
Yeah, the throwing karma for the bardo being and the throwing karma for the dog being is the same karma. Therefore, it's too late to stop. Once he's in the bardo, he has to be a dog. Why? The same karma is throwing both. One karma is throwing both. You can't separate it. One karma is throwing the bardo and the dog.
Cool.
Dog to be bardo and the dog.
But
That's
we're
a
supposed-
that's an arbed dharma de petapa.
But we're supposed to prove
Hypothetical
this
case.
wrong. We're supposed to prove this wrong, right?
Yeah, oh mani padme hum. We're supposed to prove this wrong.
Yeah.
Then there's hope of doing poor.
Yeah.
You see, then there's hope that we could do poor or something. You know, maybe there's something drastic action we can
Well,
take.
it's a problem if Stanley believes in gopher detours.
What-
Yeah.
If he believes in gopher detours, if he believes that you can be rerouted to gopher birth,
Yeah, I mean, in a way, the Abhidharma disproves itself.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but we're not going there. Okay, yay.
Sasi
Purgi Joshim Edokram Rira Linshin Yende Gyabani Sange Shindu Minte Uwargi Drogun Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Rana Mandalaka Niryatayami
Gewadi
Ikewokun Sanam Yeshe Tsoktsokshing Sanam Yeshe Lechungwe Damba Kunyi Toparsho.
okie
By the way, just sitting in this class prevents a lot of, I call dharma rumors. You know, you can't sit in this class and believe a lot of things that you hear in a yoga studio or something. You see what I mean? You're just like, no, what are you talking about? I mean, nobody says that. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.